So next we have Humana. We have Anna and Jason.
Did everyone see Robin the Humana green? Woo! Love it. You didn't even hear me. Okay, so in the favor of time, I'm just going to go, even though it's a mass exodus to the bathroom. I brought the star of the show today with me, Jason Hasman.
I'm going to say, like, the cool part is how much you all supported me through that really fun cancer journey I had, and I'm so appreciative. The prayer and everything you do works. Keep doing that for everybody you know. I've got this new appreciation for insurance and working with providers like I never had before. I'm fighting bills and prior authorizations, and this doctor said they did that. Trying to get things done is insane. And my favorite thing is getting a PET scan. Has anybody here had a PET scan before? So you get this nuclear sugar injected into your body, and nobody can be around you. And you sit in this room for 45 minutes listening to calming music as your body starts to glow and the cancer soaks up all this nuclear junk. It was so awesome. So I've been in remission for 4 months, and I'm so happy to be here.
All right, so I talk way faster than Jason.
To regular emails again.
Woohoo!
I love my emails, don't I? Thank you.
So
Best hat ever. Best hat of the day right there, buddy.
I'm going to do most of the talking because I talk faster. So here we go. Here's our team. Marissa is still on maternity leave. She'll be back in October. So with Humana, this shouldn't be new, but for those of you that are new to Humana, every member gets a green Visa debit card. What's loaded on it is what is different. So for most of our plans, our over-the-counter allowance, which is the quarterly allowance, is loaded on here. That does not roll over. It doesn't right now, and it's not going to in 2025. The Healthy Options allowance is that monthly amount that is on all of our SNP plans. So chronic and D-SNP plans, and that does roll over month to month. All right, changes, because that's really what you want to know. Outside of Detroit, this plan is our zero premium PPO plan. It's currently in every other county. As you will notice, we are removing some counties from that list. The other changes notably on this is the addition of the medical deductible. Please note that with our plans, any medical deductibles do not apply to PCP, specialist, urgent care. You can go on an ambulance ride and not have to pay your medical deductible. Woo! So that's fun. We added an RX deductible. You'll notice some RX deductibles on plans this year. What I want you to notate though is Humana is really taking a stance on our prescription coverage as far as it's only going to be tiers 3, 4, and 5. So you will not see the deductible applying to tiers 1 and 2 at all, which I think is fantastic. The other thing notably here is the OTC amounts. You're going to notice they're going to all be in the same range of about $50 or $60 for the most part. I'm going to do this one first and I'll go back. This is the cousin. So if you sell in Macomb, Oakland, and Wayne, this is the cousin to that plan. The changes on this year really most notably would be the addition of the RX deductible, not a medical deductible, and we added transportation. So in the plans in the greater Detroit area, you'll notice transportation on a lot of them. Dentures was also added in this dental. So some good changes there. Also, you'll notice inpatient hospital, the copay of $440 is going to be pretty standard across the board.
These PPOs, you'll see we just have the co-pays listed once. Co-pays are the same if they do go on the network, and that's nationwide.
Yep. It's still that open passive PPO. We'll go back. We still have the HMO, so the changes on this is, again, remember these HMOs are national, so you can go to Arizona or California, that's fine, just as long as you're seeing someone in the national HMO network. Changes on this, the MOOP only went up $100, so that was nice. There is an addition of an RX deductible, and I would say the biggest change on this one is the OTC amount. I think it's currently 100 and it's going to 60 to be in line with the other plans. This is 75 right now? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. All the numbers are kind of in a big pool in my head right now. All right, so we're going to set those, I would say, buyer profile or consumer profile to the side. Those would be the more, I would say safer, more benefit-rich, risk-averse. We're going to move into the give-back plans that we have currently. These are not new. This one is available statewide. So for those counties in the UP that maybe no longer have that zero premium PPO, this is an option for them. I'm going to compare and contrast this with the next give back plan because there's some similarities and differences, and I just want to point those out because I think it helps you understand, what consumer would go with which plan.
Yeah, well, this is co-branded with USAA, and it's called Honor. It would be so unusual for you ever to pair this with a veteran, right? Because they get their RX coverage through the VA Health or their TRICARE for Life. This is a full MAPD, co-branded with USAA, called the Honor Plan, but I just would never want you to actually pair that with a veteran that has those benefits.
Correct. So the give back is currently 70, it's moving to 66, just slightly lower. The specialist went up like $5, but really the big change here is, I want you to notice there's no medical deductible on this, and then there is an RX deductible. Okay, when I switch here to the 102 give back plan, why is that crinkling?
Maybe it's me.
Is it you? Hold the microphone still.
That's
Jason.
I like it.
That's that radiation.
It is. Nuclear sugar.
We don't still work.
So we were able to keep the 102 give back at 102. And I want to compare and contrast it because as you notice, this does still have a medical deductible, though we lowered it again, which is awesome. But this doesn't have an RX deductible. We took it off. So this one does have the medical, or does not have the medical deductible. This one does. They're both higher in move, right? So you have to think about the consumer that would enroll in this. But I want to really, if you're going to star something, I would star this plan for this year. Jason and I were talking about it. Oops, sorry guys, my Teams is on.
This plan has improvements for next year that we were surprised to see.
Right.
And we just got this on Thursday evening, by the way. So we uncovered some things in this plan that exists this year that existed last year. For next year, there's more dental coverage, there's no RX deductible, the max out or the deductible on medical went down. We've got a copay on tier 3. This really got cool improvements.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree. So the reason I like this, you guys, is because this is the third time we've reduced that medical deductible. It doesn't apply to those, plus a whole list of other services, just like this year. So you can go to this PCP right day one for $0. And the removal, the RX deductible right now is like $525, I think. And the removal, oh my gosh, I don't know how to get that to stop. And then, well, because no, you'll exit it, it's fine. And the dental, the increase, we doubled it, it's 1,000 right now, it's 2,000. So I really think that this has broadened, it was already one of our biggest sellers, and I think it's going to actually broaden the category of people, of consumers that are going to want this. Okay, the Honor Plan, why improve perfection? So we really didn't make many changes here. I was happy to report we kept the Part B give back at 100. And the only real change here is the OTC amount is currently 125, it's going to 50, which may feel like a really large reduction, but it puts it in line with the rest of our plans. And when I think of, I don't know, are you gonna buy like $125 worth of aspirin and Band-Aids? Maybe, I don't know. But we kept that dental at $2,500, so it's a nice plan for those veterans that don't need prescription coverage because they get it through the VA.
We've done some good veteran training. Does everybody feel good about veteran training, how to work with veterans? We should set something up, Stephanie, we could do it for a fun time.
Yeah. All right, D-SNP. this slide just shows, again, you saw this last year, but it shows the different categories that they can spend their dollars on. So that card, by the way, can be used at Meijer. So we were able to get Meijer back in like April or May. So healthy food, OTC, shampoo, paper plates, you can pay Comcast and Xfinity and DTE and your mortgage, doesn't matter. So a lot of options in the way they can spend their monthly amount. So I'm more visual, so I'm going to start with out of Detroit. So everyone else, like my West Side people, right now this is at $190 a month. It is being reduced to $175 a month, and it is keeping the rollover. The transportation has also been removed on this one. The levels that can go into this plan have not changed. So
That card can be used for transportation, Lyft and Uber. I don't think it's the microphone job.
Their settings someone.
okay.
So they can use that card, or they can buy a bus pass with that card as well too. That's an option. So although this plan is losing that transportation, they can use that Healthy Options card for transportation.
Great. Okay, so everyone, you also, when you sell, like if you're in Grand Rapids or Northern Michigan, you also have the option of this plan. Obviously, Detroit does too. This is your PPO. However, if you're selling in Detroit, your lead HMO with or lead decent plan with Humana is going to be an HMO because it's just more benefit rich. However, if someone really wants a PPO, you can look here too. It does still accept all levels of Medicaid, but again, I think we reiterated this last year, I'm going to say it again, when you have a spend down person, you have to be very careful about putting them in this plan because their spend down does still apply.
Can you explain that? They have to meet the spend
Yeah,
down.
if somebody's got to spend down, say it's $1,000 a month, it's every single month, right? It's almost like a deductible in a way.
Right.
So Medicare will pay their percent, 80%, or whatever the hospital, right? So they're going to pay their 20% up to the point that it adds up to $1,000 every single month, right? So that's spend down. And a lot of people this year got bumped down to spend down that were QMB plus. Anybody had that?
Yeah.
How cool was that, right?
Jason,
Question
I think the microphone's getting just too close to the equipment.
That's what I was gonna say, if you guys get too close together or into this, it'll pick up feedback.
So stay closer to him.
Like wander that way.
Wander away from that.
Yep.
Okay.
See, told you it was that.
And keep the phone too close.
Yeah, totally. So on this plan, a spend down person is going to pay that $1,000 every month before this plan would kick in. Or if they just had Medicare and Medicaid only and a PDP only plan, let's just take this Medicare Advantage plan out of that. If somebody's spend down, they're going to spend $1,000 a month out of pocket at 20% co-insurance intervals, right? When they're in that spend down category. That's a hard group of people to, I really feel for them because they probably have LAS, they're getting some help with prescriptions, but they've got a lot of money out of pocket every month if they've got things going on in that group. There isn't really a good answer either to help them better.
So I got a question. So when this plan says zero, when you look at the book, it says 0, then 20%. So where did the zero
If
come into
somebody
play?
was QMB on this plan, they'd be at 0 because they have cost share protection.
Okay.
Somebody that's is it QI or Q1 is typically their spend down. They don't have cost share protection, they're going to be in that 20%.
So the Slim B and all that, would that fall under?
SLMB, that one I don't remember right now.
So how can we tell though? I mean, of course, we know the QMB plus.
You'd
but
have,
they the Slim B.
you'd have to look at what QMB pays, just go to the website, Google that one. Google how much QMB, SLMB pays. Transportation question.
I know before when we had transportation, you could always go like doctors. Now because they're paying for it, they travel other places, see like grocery stores.
Yeah, if they use the Healthy Options card for transportation, they can use that for literally anything, to go to a movie.
The thing about it is, define numbers are still there. For example, it says if there is a 250, let's say outpatient, that's still 250, right? But do we lose all the defined numbers in this program?
This plan has mostly, when you look at the summary benefits, it will show most of the time 20%. Some of them will have a copay. Obviously, the hospital one will. Sometimes there will be a copay in there for certain things, but most of them are 20% co-insurance. Hey, how are you? Does that make sense? Most of them are going to be a co-insurance, though.
So are the levels, the QMD, that's a federal, that's a federal.
Yeah. Yeah. So to learn more about all these cool letters, Google that. Or Josh, do you have a PDF you can send everybody on that?
Yep.
I would love to.
Okay, so if you sell outside of Detroit, obviously your default would be the other PPO we just covered. Otherwise, if they don't qualify for that, this is the other option. In Detroit, you really would only utilize this plan for anyone that doesn't qualify for the HMO and that or wants a PPO. So your HMO, okay, I'm gonna preface this with we're introducing another HMO DSNP. So it's this plan plus another, and I'm going to compare them for you. The person that's going to enroll in this is like, yeah, I want $200 a month on my spending cards, because right now it's $175. We're removing transportation because they can use their card to pay for it, or they can use, what Medicaid provides. The vision is slightly lower. The dental is $3,000 as it is right now. The person enrolling in this wants that $200 a month. Okay, that's kind of the hero of this plan. Whereas this
or maybe
one,
they don't even need transportation. I know transportation is coming out of this one. If somebody doesn't need transportation, but they can use that card to buy groceries, that's a pretty sweet deal.
Yep. This one is the new plan, same footprint, also an HMO. The person enrolling in this is like, okay, I'm fine with $50 less on my card a month because I need dentures. There's $5,000 of dental, including dentures, and because I want that transportation, the 76 one-way trips, and the vision is slightly higher here on the eyewear. So two different consumers. Needs, right, or priorities. The priority for the other one is for the monthly amount of $200, and the priority here really is I need dentures or dental work.
Does the denture or dental cover implants as well?
No implants.
None of our plans cover implants. Yep. So in this area,
Two HMO DSNPs. One, somebody really needs that monthly amount to buy groceries and stuff. And then this new one, dental, dentures, transportation.
yep.
No
No,
dentures on the other?
I don't believe so. I gotta double check that, but I think it was removed.
What was removed?
I believe, do we know that for?
We don't know the answer yet. We literally don't have all the information yet on these plans from Humana. So we didn't hear the question.
So the question was on the dental for this one, was dentures are they covered or not? Right now they are, but the information we have right now doesn't indicate yes or no, so we just left it as that for right now.
Benefit summaries for the dental, you'll get those as soon as we have them. And as soon as we know the answer to that, make sure we let you know too. We just don't have access to it yet.
Yeah. Yes.
I love your question though.
I had a call about 2 months ago, probably about 10 in the evening. It's something you think about. Guy was at the store and he said his car wasn't working, but he was at the medical marijuana shop. Hey. That's what I told him. Can't use it for that.
I mean, I feel like that's probably not going to be an approved vendor anytime soon.
Just put it on your mind. I'll put it on your mind.
Maybe Kroger will start offering medical marijuana in the store.
Okay, last but not least, with the changes in the way DSNP is going to function this next year and the SEP changes, I really want to highlight our CSNP products. So this was new for 2024, and I hope if you haven't sold it, Like, what were you doing in the summer? You know what I mean? We need to make sure we're utilizing this year-round SEP. This is for diabetes. Like, how many people in Michigan, right? We live in a sedentary state, and we're working with 65 and older. Of course, a lot have diabetes. My whole family has diabetes. I'm not joking, they really do, almost all. So, also chronic heart failure and cardiovascular disorders. I'll show you a list in just a second. The footprint hasn't changed. What's really notable here and why you want to consider selling this is a couple things. One, tier 6 meds, because it's a CSNP, it has a tier 6, and those medications, most of the medications that treat these conditions are in that 6th tier, such as Jardiance, and they get that for $0. Also, your specialist copay is slightly lower, so you're saving them money there. And your Healthy Options card. I know this isn't a D-SNP, but because it's a SNP plan, they get a monthly allowance. And if you think of it on a quarterly basis, $50 a month is $150 a quarter. Jason, you're capping. So you're giving them $150 a quarter essentially to spend just like a D-SNP. Yeah, monthly amounts roll over till the end of the year. So, and because this dental is at $2,000, which is equivalent to what most of our plans have, if not better, and it's got 30% coverage on dentures, which a majority of our street plans that someone like might go into other than this has more coverage in the dental area. So in totality, when I compare this to most of our street plans, this actually wins out anyway, and you can write it all year long. So,
Does it have transportation?
This one does. It actually does. I just did my benefit grid. You're going to quiz me on this. I feel like it's 24 trips. Don't quote me on it. I was really tired and couldn't figure out how to put another row in there, so I just called it good, and that's what it is. Okay.
It's not me, but I have a question about that.
Yes.
Do they have any diabetes? Maybe have like pre-diabetes?
So,
Not pre-diabetes, they have to have actual diabetes.
A doctor?
Getting insulin.
Yeah, a
Not
doctor.
Ozempic is not insulin.
And Ozempic's not on our formulary. A doctor just needs to be able to check the box, yes, they have diabetes. No Ozempic.
It has to be insulin to be diabetic, yeah.
We are introducing an additional yes.
Do any of the other diabetic medications like metformin and
Yes, that's on tier 6.
those count for disease at all?
If they have actual diabetes confirmed by their doctor, and the doctor will sign the verification of chronic condition they have diabetes, they can get into the plan.
Yeah.
That's a maybe better way to look at it.
Yeah.
So they don't have to be just on insulin.
No, I mean, so whether they're on insulin or not if you're diabetic and choose not to take your insulin, that's on you, but like if a doctor can say, yeah, you're diabetic, that's how you get into the plan.
Make sure they're diabetic, because there's a lot of people.
Okay. The question was about how do you qualify for a CSNP. How you qualify is a doctor being able to sign off on this form and check, yes, you have diabetes, or yes, you have chronic heart failure, or yes, you have one of these cardiovascular disorders. Ignore the middle section. Most of the other states' CSNPs have a lung portion to it, but Michigan's does not.
Is this can you put people on spend downs on this plane or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I was talking about earlier with your CSNP plans for your election periods that are changing. You still have opportunities to help individuals enroll in plans through the CSNP. If they have a spend down, if they have Medicaid, you're just going to continue to show their health plan card as well as their Medicaid ID card.
And that's valid right now. Yeah, Stephanie talked about it in the intro. So if you find somebody that's spend down or they get moved to spend down and they have diabetes, this might be the better option for them than a lot of other plans that are out there. I think it's better than our 3 and 5.
Is the form, does that predicate the application, or can you enroll them and then get the form?
There's 2 forms. There's one that you get at time of application, this one, and then the other form needs to get signed by their doctor within 60 days. And it's so important that that doctor gets that signed, because if they don't send it in, they get dropped off the plane and then you move.
Questions?
Yeah, so I have a couple of clients that the doctors have sent that form in several times and Humana's not processing them.
That doesn't happen. I've had questions like that, and we can always trace it back, and they're like, they never sent it in. So they can call too. There's 5 different ways the doctor can confirm this. They don't even have to send the form in.
It's kind of cut off, but they can log into the doctor has many options. They can log into the portal. I know this looks like a ton of words, but honestly, it's just member information. The doctor checks the box and they sign it. Literally, that's it. They can log into the portal to do it. They can fax it in. They can scan it and email it. They don't even have to fill this out. They can call us and do it verbally and or not during AEP likely, but the rest of the year. If you as the agent, I know this looks like a ton of words, I promise you, just let's digest this really quick. You just have to have one yes, just one. And then at the bottom, the physician's name and phone number. Outside of AEP, Humana generally makes proactive outreach to the physician to get the verbal confirmation done. So the only extra step for you to sell a C-SNP is this form. That's it. Really quick, because I know we're running up on time. This
I'll
HMO.
say too, if you ever run into any kind of issues like that, just let me know right away and I'll jump in and help. You don't ever have to work for a long time to get a solution on things like that, just let me know.
So this HMO C-SNP is new, and I want you to just put your mind in the place of someone with end-stage renal disease. And let's go through this really quick, because I have 3 minutes. This is great because the specialist is 0. Someone with ESRD is going to the specialist a lot. Also, what you have here is you have unlimited transportation. Why?
Dialysis trips, how many dialysis trips do ESRD folks need to take?
Great, and so and on top of that, you get the $50 a month, which equates to $150 a quarter, and they get to spend it just like the D-SNP people do. So as long as their providers are in the HMO network, which our HMO network has vastly improved over the years, I would highly suggest you consider this for your ESRD folks.
What about DaVita?
What?
DaVita?
Dialysis.
Oh, I have to look. I don't know the network.
I'm pretty sure there was an issue a couple years ago, but I think they got it worked out. Yeah.
I can double check it for you on the physician finder when I'm off here. All right.
I thought you were talking about like happy hour cocktail. I was like,
That's exactly what I was saying.
All right, any questions? We have like 1 minute.
With the new stuff with the LIS, do they still have no deductible if they have an LIS? Drug deductible.
Drug deductible.
correct. When somebody's LIS, they follow the LIS rules.
No,
for any of these. Yeah.
it's staying the same.
Right. Yeah.
So like if you were to put someone with LIS in the C-SNP that has diabetes, it wouldn't apply. That was a good question. Thanks, Stephanie.
Thank you, guys.